Hey moms and dads, Dr. Scott Haggerty with Elite Family Chiropractic back here to talk to you about speech. So moms and dads, we get a lot of kids who come in here with speech delays. And moms and dads, if you have a child that's dealing with a speech delay and you're desperately looking for help, let me share some really amazing things with you. So I'm going to share a couple of quick stories. We got a little dude and his name's James. When he first started, he was way below for his age. He was 18 months, barely speaking, very, very few words, and most of the words that he was speaking were parroted. When mom got him started into care, she really was hoping to go and see some big improvements. His changes blew her mind as it did her speech therapist, because month after month after month, he started out with a 100% improvement, and then it was 200% improvement, and it's continued to escalate from there. Every month he exploded. Right after starting in care, he began to explode with speech. Right? And we've had so many kids where this has been the exact situation where they come in way behind on speech, start getting adjusted, and they just start exploding with speech output. Moms and dads, if you have a child that's struggling with this, let me just give you a basic understanding of what's happening, right? Your brain, split down the middle, has two sides. When the information from your sensory input, right, your ears and your eyes and all of the things that are coming in from the environment, if they come in without any kind of interference, the brain's able to put it all together, and the receptive side of speech comes in and the expressive side of speech comes out, and it's smooth and easy peasy. But you know that's not always the case. In the kids that we have that come in with speech delays, oftentimes they had a pretty rough entry to life, and there was things early on, whether it was a birth process or the pregnancy was stressful, things that affected their spine in a way that created background noise to their brain, right? And what I mean by that is that the force of a birth process, right? So, normal process, 40 to 60 pounds of axial traction with lateral bending and rotation on their neck to, in the event they had a C-section, it can be upwards of 100 pounds of force in their neck from the birth process. So imagine what that could potentially do to their little spine, especially the brainstem area here. This area, most important coordination center in the entire nervous system for all of the sensory input coming in. So guess what that does? If your child is trying to learn to speak and they've got Metallica playing when they're trying to hear all of that and try to put it together, what do you think is going to happen to their ability to hear everything correctly, to be able to organize it correctly, to be able to put their thoughts together, to make the connections necessary for them to speak when they're hearing all this stuff? It's almost impossible because the brain's not getting the sensory input in a way they can use it. So when they start getting adjusted, right, when we start watching these kids come through care and we begin adjusting them, what it does is it helps to get rid of the background noise. And for the first time in their life, they're able to make the connections. When there's no noise and the brain's able to go and perceive everything, all of a sudden the output starts to come. When there's no background noise, they can start putting things together, and what they hear, they can start to return in terms of speech. And we start seeing massive improvements in speech quantity and quality very, very early on in care. Right? James was one example, but we have seen hundreds of kids where that's been exactly the case. So if you have a child that is struggling with speech delays, or if you know someone that is, pass this message on to them. Give them some hope, give them some inspiration, help them to go and get their child on the road to a better quality of life. This is Dr. Scott. God bless you guys. Be elite.